Sometimes the Audience Just Wants a Poop Joke by Alexis Hope Ronsmans. The first time I pooped myself, it was a warm day in late autumn. I was enjoying one of the luxuries of a second-shift lifestyle, wearing pajama pants in the afternoon. These were the blue ones with little penguins that matched the sheets my grandparents put on the guest bed in their country home. Every elastic fiber of these droopy pants was stretched, and the patterns all distorted, so much so that only a few of the many birds remained recognizable. The rest were faceless black and white blobs occasionally intersected by tiny orange triangles. I sat with my back to a wide wall of tall, sun-drenched windows, each releasing a thin breeze into the stillness of the apartment. Golden specks of dust danced in the air. Only the voices of cartoon characters cheerfully interrupted the serenity. At first I had no idea what had happened. They had diagnosed me with irritable bowel syndrome years earlier in high school, so I was used to the brass section practicing in my underpants. But today the familiar trumpeting seemed to squeak more than usual. Then the warmth. And finally, a damp feeling that indicated something was different today. Something was wrong. I gingerly rolled off the stiff love seat into a standing position. I tiptoed a few yards to the bathroom, and having faith that no one would be home any time soon, I went straight to the toilet without bothering with the privacy of a door. I used 2 fingers to slide the pajama pants down past my knees, and with a quick glance felt a temporary rush of relief. The rumpled pile of mutated penguins in a sea of graying baby blue seemed unstained. But as the mess began to saturate the bright pink cotton of my one-size-too-small panties, I realized that the painfully tight elastic at the top of my thighs and hips was acting as a dam, holding back the flood. I attempted to peel the underwear away from my brown, sticky body. I thought of sitting down, but I realized there was no point in a toilet now. I balanced on tiptoes over a patch of bare white tile and tried to lower the underwear straight down onto the floor without spilling. I waddled awkwardly over to the shower and finished undressing my top half while running water on my legs. Then I washed my hands as I would at the beginning of any other shower. But after I had removed every dark speck from beneath my fingernails and scrubbed away the last remnants of pen ink and acrylic paint, I went to the unsavory task of rinsing the poop out of my pubic hair. I faltered only once, when I realized the amount of shit exceeded the space available for said shit in the confines of these awkwardly tight pink underwear. Since my shit wasn't going to defy the laws of physics, the shit went into the nearest available location. I just kept trying to imagine the most discreet way to ask a nurse whether shit could cause a yeast infection. After dressing, I went back into the bathroom and carefully transported the pastel hammock of mess into the bathtub, where I ran the shower over it for an environmentally unfriendly length of time. Eventually, the water ran clear, and I washed the underwear in color-safe bleach. Twice. With mere minutes left before work, and the girly briefs tumbling lonesome in the building's dryer, I returned to the bathroom to brush my teeth. There I noticed that I had missed one small detail, a little blob of poop on the bathroom rug. This mint green bathroom floor mat was a deep, luxurious shag. It comforted the feet while teeth brushing, mirror gazing, and toweling off after a shower. My roommate's mother had paid for it, and I couldn't calculate how many weeks of ramen noodles I'd have to forego to replace it. but with the help of a phone call to my mother and a few internet searches, I reduced the dollop of feces to a faint beige memory, with no odor to betray its recent and particularly unsavory origin. A few weeks passed before it happened again. It was laundry day, and I was wearing my last remaining pair of clean underwear, a thong, which left a brown Rorschach test on my butt and thighs. And again, a few weeks later, I was in a mini dress while cocktail waitressing at the neighborhood's classy piano bar. The next weekend it was in a movie theater, where I merely tossed the wet bundle into the bathroom trash and continued my date commando. This continued every few weeks for the rest of the winter, and then well into the new year. Luckily, my favorite bar was across the street, and when the beer started shooting straight through me, faster than I could sit down, I would run home and change, then come back for more. Eventually, a doctor scheduled a colonoscopy for me. The 2-day prep was the worst 2 days of my butthole's life. The all-liquid diet caused my rear to explode so loudly and with such frequency that I spent most of my workday in the staff bathroom, running the hand dryer and sink in desperate attempt to gain privacy. I was so hungry the night before the procedure that I licked the mayonnaise off the lettuce from my boyfriend's chicken sandwich. I drank chicken broth like it was holy water, and I had demonic heartburn. I became delirious and hallucinated goats in the middle of the highway. The colonoscopy caused me to poop large quantities of clear jelly, but it only revealed more mysteries and provided no conclusive answers. The endoscopy 2 years later was much the same. Eventually, new symptoms developed, more painful than embarrassing, and I dedicated myself to finding and avoiding their triggers. Along the way, the fecal incontinence improved. The specialists seemed satisfied when the accidents came scarcely more than thrice a year, and I, too, was eager to focus on the new, more serious symptoms emerging. It is 8 years later now, and I still poop myself about once a season. Usually it is because I become lax on avoiding a particular trigger, drinking a whole cup of coffee, chewing sugar-free gum, or having more than 1 glass of red wine. But sometimes there is no reason, sometimes there is no warning. But these days I allow my illness a bigger role in my life. Being a student or librarian no longer takes center stage. Sometimes I can even find a way to allow the illness and my passions to share the spotlight, and those moments of creativity are the most rewarding. But sometimes I know the audience doesn't really want a thoughtful analysis on the way a particular symptom affected my development as a person. Sometimes the audience just wants a poop joke.